Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where we cover all things real estate in the DC area. This video is a continuation of our series of popular neighborhoods in DC. If you've missed some of the other videos, we'll have links for those in the description box below. We cover the location, the amenities, why you would choose or not choose to live in a particular area, as well as the real estate. Whether you're young or young at heart, there's something for everyone in between. So let's get started. Okay, first up, we have the neighborhood of Columbia Heights. And if you look at with me on the map here, you can see that it is very centrally located in Northwest DC. It's right by other popular neighborhoods like Adams Morgan, Shaw, U Street. It's also close by Washington Hospital Center, Children's National Hospital, as well as Howard University. And you're pretty close to the Smithsonian Zoo as well, which is open year-round. And I highly encourage you to go there. It's a great time, especially if you have kids. Now, in this neighborhood, it is served by its own metro station, which is off of the Green Line. Now, the Green Line is very good to get towards Maryland or downtown DC. You can change lines at the Gallery Place Chinatown and take other lines to other parts of town if that's how you need to get around. It's very convenient for a bus as well if you're going downtown. It's a bit of a hike, in my opinion, to walk downtown if you work there. If you are a cyclist, you might not be my best friend, but it is very easy. It's all downhill. You're going to earn it on the way back home, though, so just know that. Now, in that neighborhood, it really changed in '99 when the metro station was built, and after that, they built about a 500,000 square foot mall. That mall currently hosts Target, Best Buy, and a number of other retail stores. I remember when Target went in there, it totally changed the look and feel of the neighborhood. There were a lot of initiatives to rebuild and renovate it after that point, which it did. And in that neighborhood now, you have a bustling nightlife. You have a lot of restaurants and shops open all the time. There's a lot of boutiques. There are some chains as well. You've got other things in the neighborhood that if you like nightlife, like Gala Theater, Tivoli Square, things like that, in which you can have some entertainment in Columbia Heights, but you're very close to other things, especially off of U Street as well as Shaw. Now, in this neighborhood for housing, what do you have here? It's a pretty much 50-50 mix, maybe a little bit more than 50% towards townhouses as well as condos. You're going to find some newer inventory for condos. There are some new construction going on there, but the median price point for condos is right at $423,000. It's a little bit higher with what's on the active market right now, but with the market being what it is, some of the higher priced condos are sitting a little bit longer, and that's pushing that number down. Now, for townhouses, your median price point right now is about $830,000 with a wide range of inventory, right? You've got some that are obviously under that, and you've got many townhouses that are above 1.5 million. Those are newer, more luxury builds, but there's a lot in between there. You're not going to find really any single family homes. There's a couple here and there, but they're fairly small. So if you're looking for large lots here, if you're looking for a lot of personal green space, you're not going to find in this neighborhood. You will find close by parks like Meridian Hill, access towards Rock Creek, things like that. There is green space nearby in and around this neighborhood, but you're not going to have a big yard here. You're going to go to a public playground and other things like that. Now, if you're not a big fan of a concrete jungle, a lot of closed-in space, maybe you look for other parts of Northwest DC. But if you want to be close-ish to downtown, if you like having a community feel and close to a lot of stuff, then Columbia Heights could be a great fit for you. All right, next up, we have the neighborhoods of Penn Quarter and Chinatown. We are combining them for the purpose of that. You can't go to one without the other here. You're probably familiar with Chinatown. You may have heard of it, but just west of it, you're going to find the neighborhood of Penn Quarter, and it is as interconnected as anything else that's in town. Now, in terms of location, this neighborhood has metro access completely covered. You've got every metro line going in and through this neighborhood. So you can get to any of the three airports. You can get anywhere else in town via metro here. Not a problem at all. It is very walkable as well. Not great for cars. So you do not need a car in this neighborhood, but if you do, you're going to have to find a garage. Street parking is not going to be your friend. Now, for lifestyle, day-to-day, what goes on here? It's a very busy neighborhood. There are offices here that people still come into town every week for, and there's a lot of office workers that go through the neighborhood, as well as the nightlife that goes on. So, what's in the neighborhood for nightlife and activities? You've got Capital One Arena, which you've probably seen the Wizards, the Mystics, the Capitals, Georgetown basketball, they all play there, as well as concerts. So think Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Elton John, and other events like Disney on Ice comes through there when it's in town. So if you don't want a lot of crowds, a lot of things going on, might not be the best fit for you. If you don't mind that, if you want to be in the middle of everything, then Chinatown's going to have a great feel for you. Now, in terms of the real estate in this neighborhood, it's all condos. You're not going to find townhouses or single family homes here. Not at all. The median price point for condos comes in right at $530,000, but that's a wide range. You can have studios under $300,000, and then in city center, a very luxury building and block, you've got some units that are above $5 million. So you've got a wide range here. A lot of newer builds. City center, if you're not familiar with that, it's a newer development. The past few years has been built up a lot. It's going to have your high-end luxury shopping. So your Burberry, your Hugo Boss, you've got Louis Vuitton, Dior, all those are going to be there. Even a Tesla dealership is planted in there. So Chinatown, if you want to be in the middle of everything, if you don't mind large crowds, and if you want the hustle and bustle of the busiest part of DC, could be a great fit for you. Hey guys, if you're getting any value out of this video, do me a favor, hit the like button, or maybe even subscribe so you'll be the first to know about the current market in DC. Okay, next up we have the neighborhood of Logan Circle, which is north of Chinatown. It's just east of DuPont and just south of U Street. It's a smaller footprint compared to other neighborhoods in town, but it has a lot of its own charm. Now, this neighborhood does not have its own metro stop, so you're going to have to walk towards DuPont Circle or U Street if you need metro access to get you to other parts of town or the airports. But this neighborhood is extremely walkable, especially if you're going to downtown DC. You do not need a vehicle if you live in this neighborhood. You've got a lot of things in this neighborhood as well that you do not need to go across town for. It is actually very good on things like grocery stores, restaurants, shops, bars. It has a very vibrant nightlife scene, so you are very conveniently located for that. Now, in terms of green space, it's a little light on that in my opinion. There's not a lot of dog parks. There's not a lot of playgrounds in this neighborhood. So that's a little weak, if that's what you're looking for. For real estate, it is a mix of condos and townhouses, with both of them actually being very strong in this market. The transactions here go by much faster. The inventory is much lighter than other parts of town, so you're going to actually have to act quick if this is the neighborhood you're looking for. But the median price point for condos is just over $700,000, and the median price point for closed townhomes is just over $1.4 million. As we talked about earlier, there's quite a range in that. You can really spend up as much as you want, especially in this neighborhood, but it is certainly a very popular neighborhood, a gem in the middle of the city. A little light on green space, but it has pretty much everything else you're looking for. Okay, we're going to move east just a little bit from Logan Circle to the neighborhood of Shaw. Shaw has many similarities to Logan Circle, but a few key differences which we'll cover here. Now, Shaw, unlike Logan Circle, has its own metro station, which is the Shaw stop, and that serves the Green Line. As we mentioned previously, the Green Line is very good if you're going to Maryland, and if you need to switch to other lines, you can do that at Gallery Place, Chinatown, and downtown. Now, Shaw, it has a lot of its own restaurants, shops, bars. It has a very vibrant nightlife scene as well. You can walk to Logan Circle or you can stay in Shaw all you want, but Shaw is going under a lot more development than Logan Circle is. Logan Circle is a bit more established with that, with the exception of 14th Street. That has a lot of things going on, but Shaw has a lot more, in my opinion, of development going on. So you're going to see newer condos, you're going to see some newer townhouses. It's a mix of condos and townhouses, but you're also in Shaw, versus Logan Circle, you're going to see a lot more green space, surprisingly enough. You're going to see more dog parks. There's 3 dog parks that are walkable within that neighborhood. There's outdoor athletic fields if you're part of a rec league or anything like that. There's a bit more of a park and playgrounds available to you in Shaw than in Logan Circle. More likely, if you live in Logan Circle, you'd be walking over to Shaw for those things. And it's also very close to Howard University if you need to go there for any reason. Now, in terms of the housing affordability, it is more affordable, in my opinion, than Logan Circle. The median price point for condos comes in right at $700,000, and the median price point for townhomes is just over $1 million in this neighborhood. There's a wide range, as always. You can have some newer builds, you can have some renovated properties that obviously exceed that, but there's a bit more of a value play here in Shaw than in Logan Circle. So Shaw has a lot of amenities, and it has its own metro station, and a little bit more affordability than Logan Circle, if that's what you're looking for. All right, and the last neighborhood we're going to cover today is Bloomingdale, which is east again of Shaw. It's actually in Northwest DC, but it butts right up against North Capitol Street, so it's barely in Northwest. Now, this neighborhood is a little bit off the beaten path compared to the other 4 neighborhoods we've covered today. It does not have its own metro stop. It's a little further away from downtown. It's a little bit further off of the main thoroughfares of town. Now, if you do need metro access, you can walk to Shaw, you can walk to Noma or Rhode Island. They're going to feel like a bit of a hike. You may even end up taking the bus to either of those. Still, you're in town, you're very connected to a lot of things. If you ride a bike, Again, you may not be my favorite, but it's certainly very bikeable from there. And you could even be car dependent in this neighborhood because there is a lot of parking available to you, especially if you own a townhouse. Now, this neighborhood has a lot more green space than other parts of town. It has its own parks, playgrounds. It's got an artsy vibe to it, especially with a lot of live music going on at the restaurants in the neighborhood. In this neighborhood also, I see more development coming into it in the future, kind of like what you're seeing in Shaw, but to a smaller degree. You have a lot of colorful row homes as well, so you kind of get a feel for it that it could be kind of like a mini Capitol Hill in some respect. Now, the pricing in this neighborhood, though, is certainly more affordable than any neighborhood we've covered today. The condos come in just above $600,000, and the townhouses are just a hair under $1 million for its median price point. Now, there's a few reasons for that, right? You've got no metro station in the neighborhood. You're not as close to downtown, and it's not as walkable to other things, right? You're not going to get a Whole Foods in this neighborhood, for instance, like you have in Logan Circle. So if you want to be a little off the beaten path, if you want a bit quieter of a neighborhood than, say, Chinatown, and you don't mind being, not necessarily right off the metro, then Bloomingdale could certainly be an amazing neighborhood for you. Well, I hope you found that information helpful in terms of the popular neighborhoods available to you in DC. Again, this is a series of videos we're doing, so in the links below you can find other videos we've done, as well as my contact information if you have any questions about these neighborhoods or your possible move in or around DC. And until next time, I hope to see you around town.